Now moving on, viewers, Air India has responded to a woman whose grandmother was sent to the ICU after the airline allegedly denied wheelchair. Air India says, "Dear Mrs. Kaur, we are concerned to note this and wish Mrs. Pasricha a speedy recovery. We'd like to connect with you over a call in this regard and request you share your contact number and a convenient time via DM." It's a token apology that has been issued by Air India, and no amount of apology can reverse the damage, the emotional and the physical damage that has been done to this 82-year-old woman who collapsed at the airport. And this is because of the blatant negligence of Air India. Ever since it was privatized, Antara is joining us live from our newsroom. Antara, ever since the airline was privatized, the horror stories are not one, but there are many such stories coming to light with each passing day. Previously, it was Union Minister. Now it's an 82-year-old, war veteran's widow who has suffered the consequences of ignorance and also the apathy of the Air India airline staff.
Said, this 82-year-old woman who happens to be a widow of a lieutenant general was allegedly made to wait at the airport gate for over an hour. Now, this is despite the fact that they had pre-booked a wheelchair with Air India. And despite the grandson of the lady who repeatedly requested for the wheelchair, they were denied any assistance whatsoever. The lady had to walk up to the counter where she unfortunately fell down and suffered head injuries and a cut on her nose and her upper lip. In fact, it is also being said that she bled throughout the flight from New Delhi to Bengaluru. She kept bleeding again without any medical assistance whatsoever. She unfortunately suffered a brain stroke and was later admitted to the ICU. Now, Deepak, this is not exactly an isolated incident. From broken seats to stale food, to cockroaches inside the food, to unplanned, unannounced cancellations, the list goes on. And Air India, unfortunately, has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Back to you.
Right, Antara, stay on with me. I have Akhil also joining me live. Akhil, is this the world-class airline that Air India promised to all those passengers? Is this the kind of airline that we really need? If this can happen to a war veteran's widow, it can happen to anybody. It happened to the Union Minister, Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
Well, Deepak, if you see, this is not the first incident which has happened in the recent past. 2 weeks back, if you see, Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan was flying to Bhopal, and then when he was returning on that flight, then we noticed that he posted on social media platforms saying that when he sat on a chair inside that flight, then he found out that the chair was broken. Apart from that, if you see, the second incident which took place in the last 2 weeks was of BJP spokesperson, Mr. Javier Shergill. He also commented a similar kind of incident which he witnessed. And this is the third incident within the last 2 weeks which we are witnessing, that a war veteran's widow was basically traveling from New Delhi to Bengaluru. The octogenarian citizen, when she arrived at that point in time at Indira Gandhi International Airport, Terminal 3, she already booked wheelchair prior, but when she arrived over there, there was no one available over there to assist her, and then she had to wait for a very long time, almost an hour, because if you see the social media post which was shared by her granddaughter, in that post, she clearly mentioned it that when she arrived at the very airport, there was no one to provide a wheelchair, and then she requested basically to another airline staff members over there, but they also
right, Akhil, today we ask for answers, not apologies, accountability and not excuses, because if this can happen to her, it can happen to anybody. And the Air India airline has issued an apology, but no amount of apology can reverse the damage that has been done to this elderly woman who is currently in the ICU.